Hey guys, MuddyThumper here again for another little project. I got to be sticking on a motorcycle soundbar, like sticking this onto my Vstar. So I figured I'd make a little video in case this can help anybody out. This is what the little stereo soundbar actually looks like. It's just an Amazon or eBay one, cheap thing. I read a bunch of good reviews on it, but for the money, $40, can't really go wrong. As long as these speakers don't sound terrible and it holds up, then that's all that really matters. I don't know if I even like having the stereo, but we'll try it out, see what it all sounds like. And over here in the Vstar, this is where I'm going to be mounting it to. So it's not really in the way, you just stick it around the bars. Hopefully the little brackets it come with will fit. They look a little small, but we'll try it out anyways. If not, I guess we'll be using these. So we'll stick that on and wire this up and see how it turns out. Okay guys, we're going to be sticking on that stereo here today. So all I'm going to do first, I'm actually going to just bolt it on, see how she fits. I'm going to have to probably use these little finicky clamps because the thicker ones don't want to fit around these bars, even if I bend it. So we'll just stick that on right now. Well, we're back to the drawing board already. These brackets are not tall enough, so I'm going to have to make a spacer, maybe an 1.5 inch spacer. Probably going to use steel for now until I get a piece of aluminum. Hey guys, this is a small piece of steel I got kicking around. Ideally I'd like to use aluminum, but I'm going to get this bike mocked up anyways, and in worst case scenario I guess we'll be taking this off in the future, stick a piece of aluminum in there. It's just going to act like a spacer. So if you look over here at my little brackets, these are going to bolt in place. I'm going to probably just go off whatever this height is. It looks like a little over 1 inch. It's going to bolt on here. Radio's going to bolt to this. Maybe we'll paint this black when we're done. Who knows? See what happens. We'll get stereo on anyways. We'll get this little thing on, and we'll go from there. Okay guys, we're still out here in the shed. I got some real crude looking brackets made up for now. It's just a piece of flat bar. I realize I actually do have some silver paint, so I'm probably going to paint these little pieces of flat bar silver, just to prevent any cross corrosion or anything like that going on where I don't have any aluminum. So yeah, next thing we gotta do is find a power source. I think I just found one, but I'm gonna show you guys what I got out here. I got a little test lead or test screwdriver, and I got it stuck on the ground. It is broke. It should be a clamp here that clamps around. Stuck on the ground. So as long as you got power, like if you touch off this red over here, you can see it lights up because I'm creating a circuit. But anyways, I'm just probing around. I got the key off, and I noticed that this red one down here, if I stick my screwdriver or test light right into this red one down here, it does turn on with the key. You can see, yeah, I'll push this down a bit. Let's see if that's deep enough. Turn the key. You can see everything is lighting up. Yep, and here you go. It's a bit of a weak connection, of course, because I'm just sticking it into the back of it. But if you do hold it, it does power up when the key is on. So what I'm probably going to do is carefully cut this cable tie, cut this up a bit, and then tap into that red wire and use that as my trigger for the radio. It's not actually going to power the radio itself, it's just going to trigger it and power the radio up when the key is on, of course. Ideally, you want to have your connections coming off the battery or close to it, because what I've read is that it helps filter out any issues with like the radio or anything. So yeah, we found our power source. I'll turn this off. We'll carefully snip that back. I know it's where we're going to be typing into, so I'll run some wires. I got a black wire, a red one, and a green, although I was hoping to keep yellow. And keep basically with this harness that we have, but the green is going to represent yellow for myself because I couldn't get yellow here today. So yeah, we'll get 3 wires ran, power ground and a signal wire or trigger wire, and then we'll get this little cheap jobby wired up. If this radio turns out to be not very good, well, at least everything's ran for terms of wires, and I'll just buy a different one. No big deal. Now, it doesn't take much time to hook up, so that means also doesn't take much time to take off. I got a slight twist on these wires, and I'm just taping them together so like it helps protect it. You can actually buy stuff that's like a weather guard, plastic guard that goes right over all the wires and clamps around it. But I don't have any of that here, and I don't really want to drive too far to go pick it up, so these wires are getting taped together kind of like this, just to help protect this. And we'll snip it down to the right length. I got it roughly like the size I want. Stuck in the vise here, but it's roughly the size I want. So yeah, when everything's mocked in place, the radio's bolted on, then we'll do a final snip and get some heat shrink going and some little crimpable connectors. Okay guys, I got this all taped up. I'm gonna wire this up anyways, but I'd say over the next couple days, next week, I'm gonna pick up the actual like weather coating that goes over the wire. Unfortunately, I don't have any here at the moment, but I'm going to do this really easily. I'm basically going to follow this factory harness. So I'm going to lift the tank up. There's a Allen key here, and one on this side underneath, right there. And then run this in neatly. We'll cable tie this in place, and then we'll strip back these wires. Okay guys, we're going to talk about the wiring here briefly. You can see this is the wiring diagram that comes with this little radio, little stereo. They're basically saying that black wire coming off the radio is going to be your switched, for your switched power, switch ignition switch or switched power, whichever one you're going to use. You can see green is the cathode, the negative, and the red one obviously is going to go to red. It has a 3 amp fuse in line, which is excellent, so that safety there for that. The only thing I don't like is I don't like how the fuse is all the way up here to the stereo, but it comes with this little connector, and it gives you like a click-in connector. I guess if your bike already has one of these on it, which most bikes will not. But it's actually kind of funny because if you plug this in, hey guys, as I was saying earlier before the video cut, if you plug this in connector in, it's kind of funny because you can see the colors are actually different again. The red is still red, yellow is that switched power, because they said that black is ignition switch, so yellow is switched power. And on this side, this is obviously going to be black, which is going to be the negative and the battery. But as I was saying about this fuse, it's nice that it has a little 3 amp fuse here next to the radio or next to the stereo. But what I'm going to do anyways is an extra precaution. I'm going to add in a extra fuse down next to the battery, because if something sparks or it starts to arc or anything like that, if I can stop that circuit instantly down by the battery, I'd feel a little bit safer. So yeah, that's what we're going to do. I'm going to unplug this connector again, and then we'll get some heat shrink, we'll get some butt connectors, whatever is over here, and we'll start connecting them. I got the multi-tool ready to go, so we'll get some butt connectors, a little bit of heat shrink, and that's it. We'll go from there. Okay guys, you can see this is basically how I'm going to mount it. I just got to straighten it up and kind of angle it to the way I want it. Something that looks half straight. Doesn't look too bad. This is just a piece of flat bar. I got to paint it silver for now. Should be chrome bar rates, but not bad. Kind of like how it's going to stay on the bike. If I start getting picky about it, I might trim this down a little bit. Maybe like kind of give it like an oval shape or something, make it flow a bit better. Or spray this like with the chrome spray paint you can buy, like take the bracket off. But for now, I'm going to mock up the wiring. We'll get the wiring down in place. You can see I just got this little homemade cheap loom. It just laid here. Got some heat shrink on. I'm going to tape this up a bit better. And we'll get a few zip ties in place, and I'll show you guys what I end up with. Down here I got the wire still a bit long. I went ahead and heat shrinked out one of the connectors. I was supposed to do the other one, but I forgot to do it at the time, so that's just taped up. But yeah, we'll get this all neat. This is the wire I'm going to be tapping into. You can by rights cut this off and just put like a butt connector. I just skinned it, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this green, which is technically the yellow wire, which is my loom. This is the trigger wire. I'm going to actually solder this and join it into that power wire. So basically when the key is turned on, that power will power up. It'll power my new trigger wire as well. Trigger wire will help power up basically their stereo. We're going to have a ground and a hot connected to the battery, like one on each side. And well, I guess we'll see what this sounds like now in a couple of minutes. Okay guys, you can see on my couple pictures, I got a few zip ties, keeping this down in place. Just kind of followed where the factory harness goes. Still gotta trim this zip tie. But anyways, I just got the positives connected, negatives connected, and trigger wire I just got it wrapped around. We're just gonna simply test this, and then if it works fine, I'll solder this joint, put some electrical tape around it. I don't think I'm gonna be able to heat shrink it unless I chop the connection, but we'll just solder it and tape it up really well. But first of all, let's give it a test. I'll go grab the key, and we'll see if this radio turns on, and go from there, I guess. Alright guys, you can see we're all connected down here. I had to do a quick little troubleshoot job because I never had one of those crimps really working really well. I went to power it up and had no power. It's totally my fault, so make sure you got good connections, either solder or make sure your crimps are good. But anyways, let's turn the key. Here we go, we got power. Let's see how this radio works. Mode. I have no idea. Now let's find out. Okay, I guess we're into the clock here now. It's actually a good sound. So yeah guys, for a cheap little stereo, this thing actually rocks. I am pretty happy. Like, it sounds really well. I'll definitely do a future video if I have any issues, or if it craps out during the summer when I start riding the bike around. But wow, actually I'm really impressed. The sound is awesome. So the only thing I got left to really do is I'm going to put an extra fuse, like an inline fuse, onto right here. I'm going to put like a 5 amp or 10 amp. Just as extra security. If a fire ever broke, I like to have it stop close to the battery as possible rather than potentially travel up that harness. And I gotta solder in this ignition, or my trigger. So get that soldered, taped up, all closed up, tidy this all up, like hide the wires, and that's it. Stereo installed. This is a Bluetooth antenna. Here's the other little mini antennas, pretty cool. I'll probably stick those up, like tidy them up. As all, just a little last minute tidy. Yeah, another project done. I have to stick on the saddlebags once it gets my new brackets. I come down here, like a support bracket. And then this bike is getting some huge saddlebags. Anyways, hope this helps somebody. Good luck.